All right. How is everybody doing today? This is Ebony, aka Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style. And I've had some questions lately about what people can expect when they enroll into one of my courses. At the time of this recording, I have three online courses that I'm going to share with you today just to give you a little bit of insight into what the courses are about and to show you just how engaged I am in these courses. Sometimes when you guys find online courses, you are expecting for the facilitator to be engaging and interactive, only come to find out that they're not as interactive as you would like them to be. I create secret Facebook groups for every single one of my courses. And if you would like, I can include you into any of those Facebook groups so that you do see me on a daily basis. I don't just leave you guys alone. One of the reasons that I do this is because what I've found is that many times when it comes to making health change, people need to feel like they have a cheerleader in their corner or that they have someone that actually cares about them. And one of the reasons why people are not consistent with eating healthy and exercising is because of the fact that they just simply don't have someone that is going to be able to handhold them, at least to get started with the process. Okay. So this right here is a perfect example of a course that teaches on basic nutrition. This is my 14-day Hot Ladies by Belly Bloat Bootcamp. And when you guys take a look at my website, simplicityhealthstyle.com, and you just click on the link for this particular course, you can read through this, and this will tell you all about how to use basic nutrition skills and mindset to be able to lose weight. Okay? You are never, ever, ever going to be able to be successful at weight loss if you just simply learn basic nutrition and don't implement what you learn. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. And I'm sure most of you probably know this, but we need a reminder of that because sometimes you'll take a course. I know you've probably done this before, whether it was in high school or college, or it was a certification program, or just a simple little fun course that you wanted to take that you saw on social media. You take these courses, and after you've taken them, you kind of forget about half of what you've learned. And that's because you didn't give yourself the opportunity to actually refresh your mind and utilize some of the key principles in the program. So when you don't utilize the key principles that you learned in the program, what do you think is going to happen when you really stop and think about it? What do you think is going to happen at the end of the day? You're going to slowly forget about the things that you learned. And before you know it, you are right back at your old habits. So what you're going to notice in every single one of my courses is that I talk a lot about mindset. And the most successful people that I follow are those people that practice mindset principles, not every once in a while, but on a daily basis. Okay, you guys, that's extremely key to get into your minds, that it's on a daily basis. Okay, so this is one of my other courses. This is 21 days to creating more time and kicking stress. All right, now a lot of people feel like, well, I don't really feel stressed out. But sometimes that's because they don't have anything to compare it to. When they actually realize how much they're carrying and how much less they could be carrying, and then they get rid of some of that baggage, that's when they discover, oh my gosh, I was living a life carrying all this excess stress, which was contributing to my migraines, contributing to my eczema, contributing to this chronic disease and that chronic disease. And I never really thought about it that way because I just got so used to living a life of stress. And sometimes it takes other people actually to notice that we're carrying a lot before we notice it. So in this particular course, we learn how to look at the priorities that we have in life and actually see if it's something that's serving our big picture or if it's something that we really could do away with. And sometimes we get so caught up on, running on autopilot that we often just don't take time to really think about, are the decisions that we make in our day something that is going to matter next year, this time, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? We don't take time to really analyze what we're doing in our day. And before you know it, you're experiencing depression, you're experiencing anxiety, you're going to the hospital because now you have some ugly eczema going on that you never had before. So many things come as a result of not being able to manage our stress. So in this particular course, we are saying goodbye to being a hot mess and hello to being a hot success. So those are just two of the three current courses that I have. I'm going to show you my favorite one to date. And this one is my 30-day bust through mindset camp. I love this course, you guys. And the reason why I love this course is because mindset is a part of everything that we do. And I think that many times people don't realize that we really have to be mindful of what we are feeding our minds on a daily basis, because there's so much negativity going on around us. And don't get me wrong, there is a healthy amount of negative thoughts that are appropriate for our development. So I'm not going to say you're going to walk through life and think positive 100% of the time, because that's an unrealistic expectation. But sometimes people relish in the negativity and they relish in their fear, and they don't move forward with what they know that they need to do in order to realize their dreams. That's when it becomes an issue. Negativity in and of itself is not a problem. It's what we do with the negative environment and the negative experiences and the negative people around us. Those are the things that really need to be looked at. So in this particular course, for those of you that don't already know, I am a trained career counselor. And so I have merged my graduate degree in career counseling with my graduate degree in health science and all the multitude of certifications that I have in both areas, and looked at ways that you can create a new health story. And when I say a new health story, sometimes we have this backstory that tells us that we can't be successful, or people in our previous life tells us that things that we want to do is not for our race, or there are things that are not for our gender, or they're not for things people that don't have a degree, for example. I hear all kinds of self-imposed limitations. And what I tell people is this: I've known 85-year-olds to graduate from high school. Sounds crazy, but I've known 85-year-olds to graduate from high school. I have known women that decided mid-career that they were going to shift from one particular career that they thought they loved and decided to pursue a career that was more fulfilling and meaningful to them. And for those of you that know, I had a job in corporate America where I was working the typical 9-to-5 schedule, kind of meaningless and unfulfilling, but I stayed in it because I was getting a pretty good salary and it was paying the bills pretty well. And then one day at 3:00 in the afternoon, I decided that I wanted to break out of that. And I have not looked back into an unfulfilling career choice ever since. I prefer to wake up in the morning and feel like my life is purposeful and meaningful. And I encourage other women to also discover what it is within themselves that is completely authentic to who they are, that will bring them that same type of fulfillment. And so in this particular course, what women have told me is that when they readjust their mindset, they generally feel like, I can take on the world, that I can be more consistent with my exercise and my nutrition. But because for so long I was in this job where I was mentally drained. And what I hear very often is some women will say things like, I'm an extremely creative person. So why am I in this job where I'm dealing with numbers as an accountant, doing very detailed work, and I'm not able to express my natural creativity? So when they get home from work, the last thing that they want to do is to exercise and eat healthy. It's kind of like, I don't even have 1% of energy to barely look at this reality TV show right now. And then you're going to tell me to stay on my feet in the kitchen and exercise and eat healthy. And then after that, I should get in about 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. Now, you tell me how that's possible, Ebonie, and we can make it work out. But on my own, I just don't see it happening. And you hear this fairly regularly, and particularly for women that have children. So one of the things that I'm really good at doing actually is looking at women's schedules and seeing where they can throw some things out and where they can seek help in certain areas. As a whole, we kind of operate on autopilot, and so we don't necessarily see areas of improvement when it comes to ourselves, me included. We all do it. So sometimes it takes that person from the outside to say, well, have you ever considered doing it this way? Or have you ever considered that this person could help you in this area? It's just like small tweaks that we don't necessarily think about. So I wanted to show you guys what one of the modules, I'll show you a couple of them. Show you what a couple of modules look like in my 30-day bust through mindset bootcamp here. Okay, so this is module 1, which consumes day 1 through 7, and for each module, there is an audio to listen to, just right here. And then you'll also have activities. So for this particular module, there's a 10 personal value questions worksheet, and there's a 10 30-day goals worksheet. And the reason why I start this course off like this, and I also start off other courses like this as well, is because I need to know a little bit more about you before I can begin to coach you. I can't very well say, well, I think that you should think like this, because this is how I think. I can't very well say that you should think any kind of certain way, because we all have different goals, we all have different upbringings, and we also have different environments. So I like to get to know a little bit about you first before I begin to coach you in the field of mindset, because I can't use generic principles to be able to impact you on a personal level. Make sense? And then we've got our 10 30-day goals. And the reason why this is important is because all of us have different goals. And some of our goals are things that are definitely achievable within 30 days, and others are probably going to take a little bit longer than you actually expect. And that's okay. But I need to know what your specific goals are so that when I'm coaching you, I'm tailoring what I'm talking about in our multiple live streams that I'm posting in the accompanying Facebook group, so that it's directly related to what you're experiencing, not what I think you should be experiencing or what I'm experiencing, but directly related to what you are experiencing and your specific goals. Okay. And so going into module 2, this particular module is speaking directly about our backstory and how we can create a new health story using cognitive behavioral therapy principles. I learned a lot about CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, in my graduate degree programs. And this is particularly helpful for understanding our triggers and for also understanding how those triggers affect our emotions, and then those emotions impact our behaviors. Okay. Sometimes we go around in circles and we're on a diet our entire life because we don't recognize what our triggers are and how those impact our decision making and our behaviors. So what I like to look at are the patterns in what you're doing and come up with alternatives to put in place of those triggers and of those patterns. Okay. Then you begin to see that behavior change becomes easier because you are now distracted with something more positive placed in that pattern cycle. Okay. All right, so I said I was going to show you guys two, but I'll just go ahead and show you a third module, and you have to enroll into the course to see the fourth one, okay? Now, this one, again, we have an audio here that you're going to listen to, and in this particular module, we are going to understand the difference between living a life based on just being consistent in health and exercise for the sake of doing it because someone said that we should do it, and understanding the parallel between career satisfaction and fulfillment and having optimal health. The reason why this is important is because many women tell me things like, well, I am working 40 to 50 hours a week at a job that I can't stand with a boss I can't stand, and it's extremely draining. And as I said earlier, I would love to eat healthy and exercise, but really I just need to identify who I am in this world. What is my purpose? What can I do right now? That's a practical step to identify who I am, what my purpose is, what my skills and talents are that I can give as a gift to this world. And then I can begin to be more consistent with exercise and nutrition and fitness, okay? I said exercise, nutrition, and fitness. I mean exercise, nutrition, and career. All of those things are more intertwined than what we can imagine. And fortunately, I've been trained in both areas, nutrition and career, so that I'm able to really help people from a lifestyle perspective, not just teaching you the difference between an apple, an orange, and a donut, and teaching you the nutrients in each. Most people are not motivated that way. All right, so I included a brief video. This is my personal story of how I decided to leap into a career that brings me fulfillment, which is what you see me doing right now. And we're going to talk about how you guys can identify how to make your life a little bit more meaningful as well. All right, so there are 4 modules to this particular course, but I am going to allow you to view that after you have enrolled, and I encourage all of you to enroll into this course if you haven't already. And the reason for that is because you use mindset in everything that you do. And I believe that once you've identified how to make decisions that are fruitful, everything else that you want to do in life is going to follow suit in a more productive way. We end up wasting a lot of time doing things that we know don't bring us fulfillment. And we know that we could be doing better, but yet we're settling, okay? And when we settle, there are people around us that can be influenced by us on a deeper level as we develop personally. And it's just a waste of gift for some of us when we're not utilizing our gift, okay? As I said before, all of those courses have an accompanying secret Facebook group where I'm in the group on a daily basis, show my face in there via live stream. And I'm also including YouTube videos and important articles that I've come across that I believe are helpful. And the reason why I believe they're helpful is because I tend to get very similar questions from busy, stressed out women. And so I look for YouTube videos that can address those exact questions. So again, I customize everything that I do to the people that I'm serving, okay? Not based off of what does Ebonie need? And of course, it's all going to be helpful to me, but I want to base it off of what do you need the answers to? And I'm always open to adding more content. And that's the wonderful thing about me being very active in these courses is because every group of women that I'm coaching is different. And I'm not using the same exact material from course to course. It's being tailored to that new group of women. Or if you're taking this course on your own and you're not a part of one of the Facebook groups, I'm tailoring it specifically to you and the answers that you provide to me. One of the things that I do allow women to do is if they decide that they want to take the course as a solo participant and not enroll into one of the group programs, then they can submit their assignments to me and I'll give them time in the week to give them real quick responses based off of cognitive behavioral therapy principles. Okay, so even when you are a solo participant in this course, you have the option to reach out to me and get one-on-one feedback. Okay, if you guys have any questions at all about how that's achievable, please reach out to me. My email address is Ebonie, that's Ebonie, at simplicityhealthstyle.com. So again, that's Ebonie at simplicityhealthstyle.com. There is also a contact me page here on my website. Again, my website address up here at the top is simplicityhealthstyle.com. And if you have questions, you can also send me a little message here and I will respond back to you as soon as possible. For those of you that do not already have this guide, I would strongly recommend that you get this because many times women are overwhelmed and busy and they don't quite know how to squeeze in time to work out nor to cook healthy foods. So this is one of the electronic books that I created to be able to give you guys more insight into what I personally do and some things that you can do as well to make sure that you are a little bit more consistent. You're not going to get to 100% and no one is expecting perfection from you. But that guide is going to help you squeeze in a little bit more time when you have a crazy schedule to be more consistent with exercise. All right, you guys have an awesome rest of the day. And as I said, if you have any questions, please reach out to me as soon as possible. Don't let it linger in your head and then you end up forgetting. Reach out to me as soon as possible, okay? And I am always here and available to help you guys. All right, have an awesome rest of the day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.